So, okay. So here is an opportunity, and I don't know that people understand this, but as a business person and one who constantly throughout the year is looking at his financials and trying to see how much tax I have to pay, what I owe Uncle Sam or what Uncle Sam is going to give me back, making sure I don't give Uncle Sam too much of my money. At the end of the year, businesses and or individuals typically have to write Uncle Sam a check or they're going to get a check back. There is opportunity from all of us that work that, and I'll use KCP specifically, that we can give a donation to the radio station that goes against our tax, which helps lower our tax rate, which could put us in a zero net gain. So either we give a check to the federal government or we can give a check to our nonprofit of choice to help them to be successful. So that's just one way that everybody can participate. But folks have to know their financial information or their situation prior to the end of the year. But that's an education process that we can all participate in. And I'm going to tell you, it happens to everybody. And here's one way we could drive more money to KCEP. And I know that some years ago there was talk about creating this whole foundation. But the radio station, in my opinion, should never have to worry about ever if we're going to be around tomorrow, or do we have enough money to pay salaries. That we as a community, who, as me growing up 57 years in this community, that's our responsibility. But we need folks to work with the community and all the time thinking and putting out these ideas, because that's what others do.
Yep.
We can't depend on a few.
Yeah, I'm going to, because we only got about 10 minutes left, I want to switch over and
you got my number. I had it. Okay.
okay. Okay, great. I want to spend the last 10 minutes and talk about the whole medical marijuana. As we were stating, and folks, those of you that imbibe, the Nevada Wellness Center, it is the only 100% black-owned dispensary in the state of Nevada. Can you give the address and the phone number,
Sure.
And then tell us a little bit about how you got into it, where you see this thing going, opportunities that you may see that even are directly related to this industry.
So the address is 3200 South Valley View, Nevada Wellness Center. As I said earlier, we're the only minority or African American owned dispensary in the state and one of less than 1% in the country. And here's a dilemma that a caller was talking about. We wanted to advertise Nevada Wellness Center on KCP radio, but because it is outlawed by the Fed still, passed by state law, illegal federally, KCEP receives federal funds. KCP could not accept our money to advertise that business on the radio. So so everybody understands. So the Wellness Center, medical marijuana, if you don't know, is now grown and was passed for recreational marijuana. So prior to November, whatever the election day was, the state of Nevada had medical marijuana, which you needed a card for. When the law was passed in November, QE1 or question 1, that made recreational marijuana legal, which means a couple things. You can carry an ounce of marijuana in your possession. If you have more than that, they're going to take it to jail. You can smoke marijuana in your house, but if they come into your house and you have marijuana on your table and you have kids younger than 18, you're probably going to go to jail.
Yeah.
You can purchase marijuana once the legislature, who is in session now, creates the regulations, probably going to be sometime in May or June. you will be able to purchase marijuana in one of the 48 current dispensaries in Southern Nevada by just showing your driver's license. So what is the difference? There's going to be tax. I would suspect that before the legislature is over, there's probably going to be a 35 to 40% tax on medical, and hopefully, I mean not medical, on recreation, and hopefully there will not be any tax on medical. The difference, we say that medical is really for patients, and rec is for people who want to get high.
Okay. Now, interesting enough, my understanding is Denver, and this is from the business side, they're making more money than some countries right now.
Right.
And the scary part of this, again, with the amount of people who look like us that have been incarcerated and people who look like us who have been cut out of this industry, what do you think? Is there still a way for us to get more involvement, more of from the business side into this industry, or have we missed the boat?
Well, I was opposed to medical the way they drafted the language. First of all, you had to have $250,000 cash to prove that you were solvent, which eliminated most people. But when they passed the rec bill, it basically says that no new people could enter the market for 18 months. And I was opposed to recreation for many reasons. I got into the business because a friend of mine's mother and my partner, his mother, was having issues with Oxycontin and oxycodone. And so we believe in medical. But when rec passed, well, then of course we're going to do business because we're business people. Yes, there is opportunities for us to get in the business. However, it's probably not going to be through a dispensary or cultivation or production or testing lab unless they can come in with folks who are currently in the business. Other than that, there's going to be all kind of ancillary opportunities, but each jurisdiction, the city, the county, Henderson, and North Las Vegas, all have different rules, including the state. So if we can get all of the governments on one accord, that would make it easier for somebody who lives in North Las Vegas who may want to create something or sell something to a dispensary or to a cultivator. But you have these different rules and these different jurisdictions that make it difficult.
Okay. What about, do you see, they have hookah lounges now? Do you think they'll have, marijuana lounges and stuff like that?
Well, I hope so, but currently the way the legislation was written and that passed, that was not a part of it. But the legislature, they are meeting. They can opt and allow that to happen, and then each jurisdiction would have to allow that to happen in their jurisdiction. However, you mentioned Colorado. Colorado is now taking up in their legislature a bill to allow people to smoke marijuana on the streets anywhere in public because they are so concerned that Nevada is going to take all of the business away, that they're trying to do things that safeguard, as you say, those earnings that they have captured. Now, let me say this in full disclosure. I believe just as they're making all of this money, they also have challenges and problems and issues that haven't surfaced or that they're not talking about. So nobody gets something for nothing, not Colorado, not Nevada. So, I'm one of those. I don't necessarily think that it's a gateway drug. I know that it can help people because we've seen that, but I'm not supportive of just folks wanting to get high and having it accessible to anybody for their kids. But we're going to see what happens.
Okay.
The people spoke. They voted for it.
Yep, you're right. What would you recommend, again, if I was a person, obviously, and I couldn't get into the mainstream? Are there some small opportunities that people might want to think about, as a supplier of something or something other that might be for,
so
interesting for us?
Here's what I said at some of the meetings that I was at and speaking in opposition. So we have a dispensary. So there are going to be there's going to be 30, total of 80 So they're going to give 48 out to the current people. We'd make that assumption. So it leaves 32. So if folks can form groups that can come together and say, okay, Frank, your group already has one or two. We'd like to apply with you for a third one or a fourth one or a fifth one.
Great idea.
Or they go to a cultivator and do the same thing. But, you know, you got to have money. And you got to come together, and that is a hard thing to do.
Absolutely.
When you have multiple people with different ideas and they're all putting in money and they all want to do things their way.
Absolutely. Well, that's definitely worth thinking about, and I appreciate that. We got a few minutes left. Give me some more nuggets, just your philosophies in life. Like I say, as it becomes, I follow you on Facebook. I like some of the quotes you throw out
Only
there.
some?
Most of them.
Let
but
me say this.
Tell me a little bit more.
I am a cash flow person. I believe that cash flow makes the world go round. So you don't need to be worth $10 million, $100 million, $1 billion. As long as you have $1 more than you spend every single month, you're rich.
Okay.
So it's not how much money you make, it's how much money you keep.
Exactly. Now, and also, and I'm privileged to, I consider you a friend, not just a friend, but a mentor. And I encourage folks out there, you need to find mentors. You need to find people who will tell you the emperor has no clothes. You need to find people who are going to tell you stuff straightforward, blunt. You may not want to hear it, but those are the ways that you basically grow. If you want to be a businessman, find a successful businessman who will mentor you. If you want to do whatever you want to do, don't go to the people who are the naysayers. Go to the people that are making things happen. So that's one of the things. I thank you for being, like I say, one of my mentors. But again, we have to, as black folks, have to stop waiting. We need to dive in the water too.
Yeah, here's another one. You can't be afraid to try. You have to try and try and try and try. Because if you don't try, I hear people talk all the time, I'm gonna, and they never do nothing. Do it. Even if you fail, and do it again, and do it again. And you know, before you know it, you're going to be successful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, again, this is Brian Harris. Again, Frank, I want to thank you for coming on. And hopefully, if you want to come back on again, you are always welcome on the Blackbook Half an Hour.
Anything I can do to help.
Folks, I ask you, if you're out there, download the Blackbook. It is on the Android Play Store, and it's and Blackbook is one word. And seek out and use businesses that are at least 50% black owned. We have to start looking at us first and not last. We have to recreate our economy, and we'll only do that when we start to love our black businesses. So all y'all folks that Vibe, all your folks that use the dispensary, I'm asking you all to take a look at Nevada Wellness Center and give them a chance to win and keep your business. Thank you again for the Blackbook Hour. Everybody, peace out.